I just want to do what I love for a living. I just want to wake up and create every day and stay in that creative vibe and live the artist life. I don't care about money. I don't want to have to do business. I don't want to have to do social media, pitch my services and build a fan base. Ew. I just want to do my thing, man. Oh man, have I said those words so many times, my friends. You are not alone. If any of these resonate with you, I've been there. I have been there.
Let me tell you that I've had this dream since I was 13 watching MTV.
I spent the majority of my music career in the beginning, probably up until the last 5 years, really, saying those exact same words, right? I'm like, I just want to do what I love and have success without worrying about money. Like, as long as I can eat, I'm good. I don't need anything fancy, which is still true. I don't need anything fancy, but it's more the point of this idea that there's one or the other, right? You're either fully in the artistic vibe where you're just enjoying your life and you're just immersed in your gift, your talent, your art, or you're pushing it as a business and you're doing all the marketing and the black and white physical action that feels boring. There's kind of this belief that you kind of have to be one or the other. And I was in that camp of thought, right? I really felt like my highest joy, and it still is, was just doing the creative thing, right? I just want to show up and do my thing and everything else just to work out. Well, the good news is it can, okay? But obviously, over time, as I was waiting for a record label to just come and sweep me off my feet and sign me and do everything for me, over the years, I personally realized that that wasn't actually what I really wanted. It was actually the opposite because in reality, if I had been swept off my feet by a record label at 17 when I wanted to be, or at 21 or 25 or 27, I've been in the game for a while. I would have probably lost the majority of my creative control. I would have been locked into a 5-year contract and it would not have gone the way that I had romanticized it, right? What I really wanted, I found, was for the magical, creative, enjoyable part of my gift, of my talent. I wanted that to be the main focus, and I didn't wanna have to worry about making money. I didn't wanna have to worry about strategizing and doing all of this, some people call it masculine work. I'm not really into the masculine feminine thing, so I like to call it, just mechanical work, right? It's the straightforward mechanical work versus the creative, inspired, intuitive work. Um, I wanted to be able to focus on my zone of genius, so to speak. Gay Hendricks talks a lot about zone of genius. I would highly recommend reading his books. Side note. Anyways, that's how I felt. And so I spent most of my life feeling so much resistance towards social media. I think when I was in the girl group, I was in a female pop group, and we were doing pretty well already, but then I remember Instagram came out, or maybe it had just gotten popular when I was in the group. God, that was so many years ago, 2012, 2013. Maybe I'm really off. I don't remember when Instagram, like, really became popular, but anyways, popular to us and something that was pushed on us, like, you really have to get an Instagram and start doing social media. We had MySpace and Facebook, and we were posting on there, but most of us had a personal account that we were just social media was just different back then, right? In terms of, like, pushing your business or your art. It wasn't really a thing. Social media was for personal social stuff. So anyways, I remember when Instagram first came out, they told us you need to get one, you need to get a Twitter, you need to start posting, and I just felt so much resistance. The only thing I liked about it, full disclosure, was like being able to post pictures of myself, like when I was single and like, looking for a man, looking for attention. It felt good to get attention posting pictures. Like that was the extent of my excitement with social media. Oh, I was young. Oh, to be young. But I didn't have any joy or excitement in my heart around social media and around marketing and learning about business. And I know a huge part of that, and maybe some of you can relate to this, we grow up watching other people in non-creative careers, right? Corporate America, working a 9 to 5, maybe your parents were blue collar workers or maybe they were lawyers or doctors who were always gone, always stressed, just always hustling and their lives just seemed so boring and you wanted the artist lifestyle. So, your view of what it means to be a CEO, an entrepreneur, a business person is skewed based on what your experience was growing up. That's how it was for me. My parents owned a small business in the small town we lived in. My mom and my auntie had a gymnastics studio, and the husbands just kind of got dragged in to that because when you own a physical brick and mortar business, like the whole family has to be involved. It just, you need help. Anyways, it was wonderful. They changed so many lives, like, as coaches, and it was such a beautiful experience all around, but financially, it was such a cloud of difficulty and struggle and stress and, learning as you go with a brick and mortar business is scary, right? In comparison to, like, launching an online business, there's only so much that can go wrong. Like, yes, you can go broke and overspend on certain things, but it's so much different than having rent in a building, right? I saw that growing up and I thought, "Hell no, I never" I said this phrase, "I never want to own my own business. I never wanna go into business for myself. I never want to do sales. I want nothing to do with business and sales, and I don't care about money." Okay? I've said these phrases, which is hilarious to me now because I truly believe that what you judge, you become. I've seen that in so many areas of life, maybe not to the dramatic extent of like, oh, if you judge a terrible axe murderer, then you will become one. No, of course not. But there's something about when you have resistance towards something, you perpetuate the need for it by putting so much focus on your hatred of it. I know that sounds weird, but let me explain further. By me focusing on the fact that I don't want to do social media, I don't want to worry about marketing and business and creating a fan base. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. All of this negative energy and focus on the fact that I hate something made it even more prevalent. Like everywhere I turned, I would see somebody who was using it, who was doing really well, right? Somebody who went viral on Instagram or YouTube that, at the time I was like, "Man," like, no disrespect, no cockiness here, but I would just say, I feel like my music is way better, or like they don't even really do music. Like they just started messing around with some beats and rapping and they went viral. Like that's not fair, right? Um, and I would talk to people in the music industry who were in management positions who were like, "Yeah, absolutely, just focus on your craft. But we are in a world where record labels want to see that you are getting views, building your own fan base on social media, like, that's a thing now. It's not Star Search back in the day, although I think they did relaunch Star Search recently. I saw it on my Fire TV. Anyways, it's not like it was at one time where there's one TV show where if you get in there and you sing on stage on Star Search, then if you're really good, you're probably gonna get a record deal, You're probably gonna get signed. It's changed quite a bit over time, right? And I felt like I kept hitting walls the more that I focused on the fact that I really hated business and I just want to create. So there's a huge part of this that has to do with resistance and your area of focus. When you are just throwing so much negativity towards something, you're focused on it. So you're going to see more and more of it. And it's like, regardless of whatever you believe about how things work in this universe, religious, spiritual, or not, there's something to be said about focus. When you focus on something negative, you will see more of it because you just notice it more, right? I don't watch the news, so I don't know how many terrible shootings and horrible things are going on every day. I do check in, here and there with Google, so I know about major ones happening in the US because that's where I live. But because I'm not watching the news like, our parents did every single morning before they went to work, I don't see the world as this horrible, terrible place. And I know that sounds really privileged, and it is. But it's just an example of something that a lot of people my age and younger can relate to. We know about a lot of terrible things going on, but our parents are much more exposed to it because they stay focused on it, right? Your point of attention is your point of attraction. So, anyways, I just wanted to say that because if you are an artistic person who is feeling that way right now, like all the business stuff, just, ugh, I hate it. It feels gross. I would highly recommend you consider changing your perspective. I don't mean that you have to suddenly love marketing and social media. I don't even mean that you have to go on there and start posting every single day. Don't do something because someone else is doing it and it's working for them or they told you to do it. Do it because you intuitively feel like it's right for you. And that can take some time to kind of learn how to tap into your intuition. But if you're willing to be open, and this is leading to my next point, you want to be open, okay, at all times because so many of the things that we want in life, in our careers, come in a way that we don't expect, right? I did not expect, for example, my first way to make money in music was going to be, well, I mean, real money, not like $50 to come and do a 2 hour studio session, but like, decent money that I could make from my home studio in like 30 minutes was cheerleading music. Who would have thought that competitive cheerleading music would pay my bills? The weirdest, smallest niche. I love my cheer music community. I love all of y'all, but it is weird. Like, who would have thought you should make cheerleading music? You'll make so much money. What? Right? But when I was feeling so resentful of the fact that I was sitting in a tech company working 9 to 5 in Venice Beach, which sounds glorious to work in Venice Beach, right? But I worked at a tech company and it was the most boring, soul draining job ever. No disrespect, but it sucked. I was just sitting there thinking how miserable I was and how I just wanted to sing for a living. Can I just sing for a living, please? This is my dream. This is what I love. And I got an intuitive hit because I stayed curious and open. I didn't think, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it that way. I just said, this is the end result I want, which is to make a living with music, with my talent. Very broad and vague in a way, right? I didn't say I want to put out music and have it go viral on YouTube, do YouTube covers, and then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. I stopped the whole record label idea because A, I realized it's not what I wanted. But B, I'm like, well, what if there's another way that's even better for me? Right. And I stayed open. I just said, this is my end vision. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know I want it. So thank you. I'm saying thank you in advance. Please show me the way. And I got a hit to go on Craigslist because that was big at the time and search singer on a particular day. That particular day, an ad was posted like an hour before I did the search, and it was for the cheerleading music company. I'm like, what? Cheer music, right? The rest is history. I've been doing cheerleading music for more than 5 years, and now it's literally more than half of my income every year. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, look at what your end result is, your end goal. Okay. So if it is to be the next J.K. Rowling, if it is to be the next editorial fashion photographer and work in Fashion Week, if it is to own your own costume shop, if it's to be the next Angelina Jolie, like whatever it is, look at a very zoomed out version of what you want. You want to be on stage, you want to be in movies. Think about what your days would look like, right? So my days would be, if I wanted to be Angelina Jolie, would be going on set, right? And spending X amount of hours, majority of my days on set filming, right? Or it would be um writing every day, sitting at the coffee shop on my computer, writing and get into that feeling, get into that zone. But don't think about the methods needed. Don't think about the strategy. Don't think about what you're supposed to do or not supposed to do. Strategies and structures come later and they have their moment. Trust me, they do. If it wasn't for the voice actor studio of Las Vegas, I would not have become a full-time voice actor, within a year. I'm pretty much full-time. I'm almost there in terms of like replacing my old income, not quite, but getting freaking close. That's just been recent, so yay me. Anyways, If it wasn't for their strategies and structures, I don't think I'd be here at this point so quickly. I was able to do it fast because their methods just made sense to me. I could see all the way down the line. It felt right. But that didn't come from day one being like, oh, I don't want to have to do business and blah, blah, blah. I just said, okay, this is what I want. I love voice acting. I love acting in general. I would love to be in video games and anime. This is exciting. Let's see where it goes. This is my end result vision. Now let the pieces come together and I will take action on those pieces, right? So, what happened to me over time when I started just focusing on the vision and let go of the resistance about hating business, hating social media, I didn't try to force myself to love it. That's one thing. That is something you can do, and sometimes it does work. I've seen people do it, like just decide to change their identity. It is very effective, with food, especially with diet, with quitting smoking or drinking, deciding that you like the taste of healthy food, right? You love the taste of nutritious food, and telling yourself that and continuing to get used to eating certain healthy foods, you actually do have a physical change in your taste buds over time if you are eating the same foods. I think your microbiome changes too. So you can absolutely mechanically, physically shift something in your life, shift the way you see social media and business, by force, so to speak. It works. Sometimes that might be the way to go. For me, it wasn't with this. It was with diet and exercise. I absolutely did it the more mechanical way, and it worked for me. Great. But with all of this business stuff, I did not try to force myself to like business and strategy and structure and the financial aspect and the social media, blah, blah, blah. I just decided to keep focusing on my vision and stay open, right? Stay open, not reject anything. And over time, I actually started to feel that entrepreneur bug biting. Okay. And that was because as I started working with the cheerleading music company, I liked the freelance thing that was going on. I liked that they would give me a project and say, hey, you have 2 or 3 days to do this. And so I could literally do it any time of the day or night. I do it, send it to them, and they pay me. It's so simple, I know, but it was fun. It was like, "Ooh, this is cool." And so then I started looking for more clients, and I got a lot of referrals, and that excitement of building a business started to really infect me in a good way. And then I became a full-on serial creative entrepreneur. I fell in love with entrepreneurship. And I got to a point where I felt inspired, again, not forcing mechanically, to look for a business coach. And I didn't type in like business coach, to teach me about business. I felt called to look on Facebook groups and see if I can find like marketing or PR people that maybe I could hire freelance, that I could get tips from about getting the views on my music stuff up. And I commented on one of the pages, and this lady named Justine Beauregard commented back and was like, sounds like you need blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, scheduled a call with her, sold. She really, really helped me understand how to structure and strategize, but from a place of inspiration, from a place of creativity and finding what felt best for me, kind of my selling style, right? And realizing that sales is 100% creative. Sales is a creative art form. Okay. It is not sleazy. It is not structured and boring unless you want it to be. If you want to sell with a script and you want to do the email list thing, nothing wrong with that. Great. No, thank you. Did not want to do that. I found that my skill, surprisingly, because I was shy initially when I was a kid, was building relationships with people on a very personal level. So I'm actually really good at cold pitching, which is so crazy. I'm good at cold pitching to people, like on a direct business to business level, right? Uh, Finding email addresses of other cheer music producers on like directories, reaching out with a pitch that had my samples, like you would reaching out to any agency or any other business trying to get their business. But I just found that I had a knack for it and people felt my energy and liked my personality and my style and the way I would reach out to them. It was not corporate boring. Hello, my name is Miranda and I am a singer-songwriter, blah, 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 blah. You should check me out. I think I would be great on your team, right? I had my own style. And so anyways, I share all this because I know how it feels to just want to create and not have to think about any of the boring mechanical business, sales, marketing, blah, 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 mumbo jumbo. But if you can stay focused on your end result vision of what you want, stay focused on just improving what it is that you do, what it is that you love to do, while being open to the best pathways forward for your fan base to grow, for your business to grow, the right avenues will present themselves to you because you're not closing yourself off, okay? And this leads to me sharing about social media. I used to hate social media altogether, didn't want anything to do with it. And because I was trying to force myself mechanically to like something I hated or to do something I didn't want to do, I would fall off every time. Every single time I would get consistent with posting, it would last 2, 3 months, and I'd completely fall off, and then I would feel mad at myself that I failed, right? "Oh, here we go again. I can't stay consistent, yet I can work out 5 days a week, eat pretty good 5 days a week, continue to create almost daily." Like, what's the difference, right? So, don't be so hard on yourself, but don't obsess about it needing to be a certain way and you needing to jump on the bandwagon and do TikTok and do Instagram. Just stay open to the ideas. And I promise you that the right pathway will find its way to you because it could very well be that you get some crazy idea. I talked to a friend recently who's a fellow voice actor who gave me this new idea of a thing that he was going to do. I can't think of exactly what the details were, but it was a unique idea to show his voice acting skills in kind of a fun, entertainment, interactive video that he could post on Instagram or TikTok. And it was unique. It was unique to him. It wasn't what's trending. It wasn't what hashtags people are using. It was an idea that was inspired that he's going to pursue. And it felt like shining lights showing him like, hey, this is a fun thing that you could do. Just do it. Follow it because you're on social media, you're posting this thing, but you're not worried about I think this is why we get so bogged down by it. We're worried about needing to do it the way everyone else is doing it 5 days a week at 11 a.m. every single day you need to post. No, you don't. There are plenty of, examples of people I know who do that. My husband does that and it works really well for him. He posts very consistently at almost exactly the same time every day, and it does work great for him. But I also know other people who don't do that, who get a lot of views, I believe, because they are doing things that inspire them. And yes, they are doing it consistently. They're staying open to showing up consistently, but not from a place of being contrived and forced. They're doing it from a place of, I'm really good at this. I found my groove and I'm just going, right? So, anyways, this has been quite a rambling. I know I've kind of gone all over the place, but I think it's really important for us to have these conversations, my creative friends, because we're so closed off to possibilities because of how we perceive things based on what we've seen other people go through or what, you know, we believe business means, sales means, marketing means. So change your perspective about these things, stay open, stay focused on what you love more than anything, and just allow the possibilities to unfold. I found my grooves. It took me a long time, but I found that I really love recording videos and cutting up parts that may be really helpful for shorts. Doing the podcast thing has been fun for me. That took a while for me to find and really get into like what I want to talk about and how I want to present it. But eventually it came together because I didn't force it, right? TikTok was one that I totally resisted. I'm like, ew, don't want anything to do with it. Not fun. I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon just because everyone says that I as a music artist and an actress, you need to be on TikTok because that is the platform where you're gonna blow up, and it's like, "No, I don't want to. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. I don't wanna just do stuff because it's trendy and, like, be so contrived," that was my mindset. I let go of that, and I just said, "I'm willing to try this in a way that works for me." So I have not played much around with, things that are trending. I've used the filters, and I'm sure that that helps get more views, whatever. Nothing wrong with trying hashtags, I think it's great, but start with something that just feels good, that feels effortless to you, right? That's what I've been doing. I started posting voice acting, like anime voiceover stuff that's been really fun, and of course, yes, it happens to be something that's extra trending right now, so it's getting a lot of views, but it's effortless and fun to me, and I'm like, "Oh, well, this I can show up for consistently. Making podcasts I can show up for consistently. Making little videos talking about staying inspired as an artist, that feels good. There's not fancy editing going on. I'm doing it the way that feels good to me." So, anyways, I hope this has been helpful, and I'd love to hear what your experience has been. Share, comment, like, subscribe, all the things. Love you. Bye.